9/11 changed America. I remember being in Washington, D.C. on that day. I come into the office and people were saying, well, a plane has hit one of the Twin Towers, but we think it's just a small plane, and it's bad, but it's nothing terrible. And you walk on into the office, and then I remember hearing the audible gasp of people when they saw the second plane hit the second tower. And you just knew then something incredible has happened and things are going to be different. We, of course, immediately evacuated all the Senate buildings. We had heard about something heading possibly towards the Capitol, so everybody clears away from it. And I remember seeing fighter planes scrambling over Washington, D.C. and thinking in my mind, that's like a third world country. I've not seen this before. We got a fighter plane. And then there was a guy with an automatic weapon on top of the Supreme Court, and going, what is going on? So most of the day you're calling people on your cell phone saying, what's happening, and nobody really knew at the time. The story was just starting to get pieced together. The most vivid piece of what I remember, though, was gathering together as members of the House and the Senate that evening on the Capitol steps. And it was almost an act to say to America, we are still here, we are still functioning, and we're going to go forward regardless of what this is. We're going to get on top of it. And then somebody, and nobody knows who, just started singing God Bless America. And everybody joined in immediately with that. And saying, God help us, but we're going to move on forward. Well, the days changed into weeks. When it quickly got tracked to Al-Qaeda, it didn't take Congress 3 days to declare war in Afghanistan and appropriate the funds. We were not going to let this stand, and didn't. And I remember people around the Capitol saying, you know, a number of the guards and security people, I remember one in particular saying, boy, I wish I was back at my basic training time. I'm ready to go. And people were that way. It was, I want in on this, and I'm mad, and we're going to deal with this. And we did. And we've had 2 wars go on since that period of time, in Afghanistan and Iraq. And it's been difficult. And we've lost a lot of Kansans. We've lost a lot of Americans. And we've had a number of soldiers that have come back wounded, physically, mentally, and we're looking after them. So 10 years later, 9/11 has changed us, no question about it. Al-Qaeda has been degraded, but there are other groups that are out there, and they still pack a potent force, as we saw recently with the helicopter that the crew was based out of Olathe that was shot down. I was over at a memorial service there, and it reminds you that we're still losing lives. We haven't been attacked on our home soil since 9/11, and that's a great tribute to our troops. We have had a number of people that have stepped up, and family members have joined the military, and from families that never had any military contact in recent time, and yet said, no, I'm gonna get in this. America is stronger and better today. We still have the scar tissue from it. And it has caused us to re-examine ourselves. And it has caused us to really think about what freedom is and the cost of it here at home. And my thoughts go back to the woman in Uniontown, Kansas, who lost her son to the battle in Afghanistan. He had signed up for the military, and he went over and he was killed in Afghanistan. And I was calling, expressing my condolences to her, and she said, you know, my son always said I'd rather die for a cause than of one. And I thought, what incredible character, and where do you find people like that? Well, you find them all across this state. You find them willing to stand up and fight. You find people in Kansas and in America that have done 5 tours of duty in Afghanistan or Iraq, maybe more in some cases, but I've talked to people that have done 5 tours of duty, and their family's still with them, and they're still pushing, and they're saying there's still work to be done. We're going into tough times again, financially, particularly for this country. And there's some people that can look at it and say, well, I've lost my confidence as an American. And I hope, just as in the wake of 9/11, that as we go into this difficult period of time financially, we say, the key is getting back to our basics. It's faith, it's family, it's freedom. It's us fighting for the things that we've fought for generations in America. It's the old paths that we know that will produce the strength in the future. We got to get back to them. It's going to require work. It's not going to be easy. And one final thought was Tony Blair addressed a joint session of Congress not long after 9/11. He gave one of the most patriotic, American patriotic speeches I've ever heard. And I'm sitting there as a United States Senator, honored to represent the state of Kansas, and listening to Tony Blair really kind of buck up America of sorts. And he goes off script at one point in time, and he says there, I know there's somebody right now in New Mexico or Idaho, someplace I haven't been to but would love to go, and saying, why us and why now? Why is so much being required of America in this war on terrorism, and why now? And his simple and eloquent response was, because it's your destiny, and it's your time. And we take our lumps, but we're always going to get back up. And that's what we did after 9/11. We got back up. God bless America.